All right, guys. Well, it looks like it's that time again, so let's go jump straight back into Baseball Stars. Of course, it's taking me a second here to get this opened up, and so as a result, we have the sample game going on. So we'll go ahead and end that. Now, we do want to take a quick look at our team here first and see all of the damage that we did yesterday when we started messing around with some stuff. So let's go ahead and open this up. I have my notes open on the side. That's right, we have Rookie 1, whose name we're going to change here. So we're going to call her... Isn't she the one who had the naturally curly hair? You guys are going to have to remind me about this. I know I can look it up, but you'll have to remind me about that. She's going to be on the bench for a little while because we have to get her stats up. But her prestige is almost up all the way, which is the important part. The big question here is Sally and whether we can get her in the lineup. So I'm thinking of comparing her with Bat A1. 5'5", right? Sally is 5'4", and she can do a little bit more on defense. So yeah, Sally's going to be in place of Bat A1. So I'm going to write that down here in my notes so that we know that we need to pay attention to that. The other question is, should we have Lucy up in the order? Yeah, probably. Wow, this person's playing left field, and we should probably get rid of that person. I think that's what we're going to do after we win today. Assuming that we win today, you never know what's going to happen, right? We might not win, but chances are pretty good that we will. We're going to go over here and choose this one, I think. So here we go, 10th game. And this way we can be the home team, see if that makes any difference. And we're going to do a player change, so A1, you are out. And we're going to put Sally in. And then the other thing we want to do is probably a batting order change. So we're probably going to switch you up. We're probably going to switch you up. And we're probably going to switch you up as well. And so we're getting to the point where we can start getting rid of some of the generic players that, you know, we really were never going to end up playing with in the first place. But, you know, while we think about that, we've got to worry about actually playing this game. And, yeah, see, this way we're now the team pitching from the beginning because we're the home team. So all we have to do is score 10 runs in the bottom of the first, and we got this game won. Now, when we do, somebody was saying that they would like to see like a double header or something. I'll tell you what, when we start getting to the point where we legitimately are winning games because of like the 10-run rule and stuff, that's where I'll start playing more than one at once. So that we can keep the videos nice and long and entertaining and so on. So you'll know when that happens because it'll be obvious we'll start winning by a whole ton and the video won't be over with yet. So there you have it. But first things first, we got to get some base hits, and that wasn't it. So far so good. Hopefully you guys, I know I talked about it a little bit yesterday, hope you guys enjoyed the Hall of Fame video. The next video coming up on this channel, as I mentioned before, is going to be on RBI Baseball 2. Not just the NES game either. We'll talk about the Amiga version and all of the other interesting versions of that game. And probably after that, I'm guessing that the next video game video we'll do will probably be on Tecmo Baseball, I'm guessing. So look for maybe a little bit of extra content here on this channel as I sit down and like really play the game and start to dig into it. I need to pay attention and not swing at balls, huh? I keep running into this problem, but it's the old NES problem where you just swing at anything that comes your way. That was a little bit too close to take, however, and so that does it. So much for scoring 10 runs in the bottom of the first. The other news in the channel is we're going to keep going. We're almost done maybe with the version of the 1955 World Series with Replay Baseball. We're maybe almost done. The Yankees have a 3-1 lead. We'll see. My big question is today whether I'm going to have the time to play the next game or not. Just foul. So we'll see what happens. If I am able to finish that series, I think I'm going to end up doing the same series with Stratomatic next, the Stratomatic computer game, which should be fun because I've never actually played it. I haven't even installed it yet, but I do have it. I went and bought it. So that would probably be the next one, and then after that we'll do OOTP. And then after OOTP, I think we do Skeetersoft MP3, and then we have a couple of different projects to run. I tell you, when it comes to replays of old baseball seasons, I have a whole ton of projects that I would like to get through. The difficulty is figuring out how to organize my time and how to get to stuff, you know, get to stuff in a way that sort of makes sense. I should have cut that off. We would have had him at second. Anyway, while I'm dreaming about all this stuff, we're behind 1-0. What happened? I thought we were supposed to be dominating these teams, right? Maybe all that prestige has gone to our heads. We don't even have a base hit. Anyway, so there's a project that I started before Christmas. I was doing a Diamond Mine baseball project with the 1993 Phillies, and I'm part of the way through April. I stopped that and started doing stuff on camera again because of the 55 World Series and all of that, and it's been a lot more fun. I might end up resuming that project and just doing a whole bunch of games here on the channel. So that probably is what you're going to see after we're done with these little 55 World Series replays. There was somebody on here who was asking why in the world anyone would want to play a game other than OOTP. And hopefully I can show some of that through some of this gameplay, through these other sim games and stuff. The most difficult thing, though, about doing that type of project is trying to figure out a way to make it so that it's really engaging. So it's a lot harder with Sims than it is with a game like this. With a game like this, I can kind of like play and just sort of do whatever, and we can have our memes or whatever we want to have, you know, as we go through from one game to the next. But if you're playing like a Sim-style game, it's really hard to figure out what to do. I've been defaulting towards doing a lot of sort of play-by-play type stuff. Sometimes that works and sometimes it doesn't, right? The hard part about play-by-play, of course, is that it takes a lot of energy, and with these types of games, you don't always get sort of like the watch hours that you think you're gonna get, right? So you put together like yesterday I did a hockey broadcast on the hockey channel with the old APA Hockey for DOS game. The whole thing was over an hour long, and the average view duration is like 5 minutes, right? And part of the problem is that people will skip ahead and so on and so forth, unless you can come up with like a reason for people to sit down and watch the whole thing. So like, you know, when I play this, you probably want to watch the whole thing because you don't know what wacky thing I'm going to say or what insane thing is going to happen in this game. But, you know, if I'm playing, say, you know, with the 93 Phillies and Diamond Mine, unless we can figure out something like that to add in, it's going to take a little while. It's going to be hard to get people really into it. The other thing, so the thing that works well with this project is that you get people invested because you have an actual storyline going on. You can do the same thing with replays, but you really have to do a lot more of sort of additive stuff to get it to work as a YouTube video. So there are a lot of guys, you know, my age, maybe a little bit older, who try to make videos on YouTube and, you know, content sort of like this, using, you know, their replays, their favorite projects and whatnot. And they don't have all of the success in the world. One of the reasons why it's harder to do is because you really, really have to figure out a way to sort of sell it and get people really invested in your project, right? So there's a video I did a while back that I called Nobody Cares About Your Replay. It was about 2 years ago, I think I did it. Oh, I do have a fielder there. How about that? We're doing a little bit better, right? Anyway, the reason why nobody really cares about your project is not because people just don't care about these games, it's because you have to be able to sell it to them. That's the important part. You have to be able to like have a good storyline and say this is why you should be interested in this and so on and so forth. And it's something that I may not have successfully done with things like this replay 1955 World Series project. So I'm going to see if we can do something to sort of turn it around a little bit. In fact, this is where the temptation comes in to sort of do a whole bunch of extra stuff, to try a couple of extra things and stuff. Over on the football channel earlier today, I uploaded the first video of a game with the 1958 season in Tecmo Super Bowl. You can check that one out if you know where the channel is. And what I've been doing with that is a lot more sort of historic content to try to make it so that, you know, people watching it can understand what's happening, you know, who the players are and all that other stuff. So I may end up doing something similar to that here. Now, for this game, of course, we can't do that. We can't have any sort of, there's no historic thing about baseball stars. But for other games that we play on this channel, we might be able to do something more like that. We might be able to have a few more clips or have a little bit more talking about this stuff that you wouldn't know otherwise. Because it can help you. I mean, it's really hard to cheer for a team, for example, if you don't know the players on the team. One of the problems with Baseball Stars 2 is that unless you do what people were saying with a hexadecimal editor, you know, modification, you run into a bunch of players in your team that are named like right field 1 or rookie 2 or something like that. I mean, you just don't care about it, right? You have no connection at all to those players. Whereas in this team, or on this game, you can change your team's names over to people who you actually care about, and you can sort of have your own, I don't know, game or whatever in somewhere in the back of your head. So anyway, here I go off rambling again. This is the reason why you want to watch these whole videos, right? So that you know what crazy thing I'm going to start talking about next. And you might get a preview of whatever is coming on this channel. And that would be a lot of fun, by the way, if you could figure out exactly what's happening, because there are times where I don't even know what I'm going to do. Not bad, but Sally needs to get some more wood on that bad. Or on that ball, I should say. It would be a real shame if we didn't win this game. I would feel really embarrassed. After all the improvements we've made to this team, if we ended up losing this game, that would be pretty bad. And look at that. Now, if you were watching the little dots on the diamond over in the bottom right, you can even rewind it and see it. I went back at first. The problem is that he then saw that there was another person, or she, I should say, she saw that Sally was over at first base, and so she had to stop halfway and started going the other direction. And that's what did it. Of course, there's not really a guarantee that she would have made it back anyway. That we're doing well, we're fielding well, we're just not hitting well, and it may be that we need to just go up here and take a whole bunch of pitches and see what if we can wear these pitchers out a little bit. Let's see. Or we can just swing at everything. I like swinging at everything, let's do that. But that was going to be a strike, so that's my excuse. Alright, well, so much for that strategy. Let's come up with something else. Get through, get through. Does not hit hard enough. Okay. Back to the top of the order. This guy's been hitting okay. 395 average. It's not bad. This has been a pretty poor game so far, though. We haven't done a whole lot to endear ourselves to the public, I'll tell you that. And the sad part is that I think that we actually have a pretty good crowd here at this game after getting our prestige all the way up. Oh, shoot. Oh boy, that was close. We almost got him. We almost got him. When this team gets better defensive ratings, we're going to be all right. This is the first time we've seen a pinch runner, by the way. Didn't help. How about that? So they decide to get a pinch runner. We don't pick him off base, but he gets picked off anyway after the little pop-up bunt. So it ends up working out for us in the end. Now all we have to do is get some runs. Let's get something going, man. This video is too short, right? We got to give the people something to watch. Well, that didn't do it. One away. There we go. There we go. Pigpen giving us the base hit, and he runs over in a cloud of dust to second base. You ever play the old game Foursquare with the 4 squares and, you know, the ball and stuff like that? And I remember we used to play with different rules, like, you know, when you were in elementary school, you passed the ball. We had one that was don't drop the eggs, right? That's what I'm thinking right here with this runner on his second base. Don't drop the eggs. I should not have swung at that pitch. Okay, let's be a little bit more patient. It was Sally who had, I suppose, the base running gaff. I think we'll blame it on her. 2 men out, so I don't know that we want to bunt. See, she has some hitting ability. That's not bad. But that was pretty bad. Alright, top of the 8th. It's been one of those kind of blah games. surprised that they don't pinch hit for their pitcher here. It's like they're just giving away an out for free. Are they going to keep him in the game? We would love that. So if you, it's unfortunate that it's zoomed in so far, because if you zoomed out and watched sort of the path that guy took to the ball, it'd be absolutely hilarious. He like runs all the way over to the left and then runs way back to the right, because I have no idea where the fielder is. That's the sort of replay they should be showing you in these games, right? I tell ya. No luck. No luck today. That should sneak through, and it doesn't. Man! We probably should have called for a pinch hitter, and yeah, that's 1-2-3 again. And this is a really ugly game. This is probably the worst game that we've played so far. We go all the way back to the beginning of this series. So there I am with the drunk fielding again. 1 out. Anyway, so you can see here that this game can simulate all sorts of different eras of baseball. We have 1968 today. 1-0 game with like basically nothing happening offensively. Nobody can get a base hit. 5 hits for them and 4 hits for us. So I don't know, maybe it's the park effects here at home that we have or something. I don't know what's causing it. We just keep popping them up and it keeps going to nobody for nothing. So 2 more outs left. Let's see if Shermy can do it. Maybe we'll try to see if we can work him into the count. Boy, those slow balls at the beginning of the count sure look real tempting. Man, that just gets enough of the plate, just barely. It looks like it's inside, but it's not. There we go. All we get though is a single out of that. We need a little bit more than that. All right, the pressure's on. And of course they changed pitchers right here. This is only the 3rd pitcher they've used in this game. Usually we get them to use more, so that's the sort of game it's been. Although I'm happy they put this guy in. This guy's usually pretty wild. Probably have to swing, huh? That does it. Wow. Well, that wasn't very good, was it? We ended up losing 1-0, and we gave up a run on, I think it was like a couple singles or something like that. No home runs in this game, no offense at all. We did have a chance to win it, a couple chances there at the end, and it just didn't happen. And yeah, the attendance did go up a little bit, but we're going to have to wait a little bit, I think probably till tomorrow. It's still already about a 20-minute video. Yeah, I'm not sure what to say about that. Other than that, I wish I had more money so I could do a couple of improvements to at least some of these people. We don't even have 5,000, so we're going to have to wait this one out. Can we see? Yeah, see standings. I mean, there's not many standings to look at here. But we are 6-4, they're 4-6, since we played each other 10 times. It's pretty even, actually. Actually, left fielder 1 has our top average. I don't know how many at-bats they actually have. And as I mentioned before, we have no home runs. Linus with 10 runs batted in. Charlie Brown with a 1.92 ERA. So we have the good ERAs, but we haven't had very many wins. So that's what it's been looking like so far. And there you have it. So game number 10 of this series ends up not exactly going as planned, and it's kind of a shame. But that's the way that it goes. 1-0, we get the loss, and we'll see if we can get our revenge tomorrow. So much for scoring 10 runs in 1 inning, but there's always tomorrow again. Talk to you later. Bye.